So you guys had a run-in with the Lost Boys. How'd that go for you?
Pretty ridiculous.
And as I recall,
It went okay.
some of you...
You mean the Free Boys?
The Free Boys.
Yeah, the Free Boys.
They're the Free Boys? That's right, they're the Free Boys now. They were the marvelous Skull Crushers.
Yeah, I didn't think the boys were old vampires or anything.
Several of you...
I remember that the boys were back in town.
Several of you have already
laughing at that,
manifested
Nick.
your Beastlands animal imagery. As I
Some
recall,
of us hadn't manifested yet.
Mahogany's part tree. Riot is part ladybug. Kelian, he was already mostly snake. And Bobrick began exhibiting
beaky things.
the signs of a songbird. And some of you haven't manifested anything yet.
Right, some of you are boring.
Well, some of you are more lawful than others. That's all that is.
Yeah, it's just taking more time to...
It hit Mahogany first because he's been here before, and then the Chaotics, and we're moving up to the lawfuls.
Right, some of you are more boring than others.
Let me get my rules here. So you guys had a plan of attack, did you not?
Yeah, we're looking for the river.
Yeah.
And I think we're trying to find mountains to find the source of the river.
Yeah, and the mountains are off in this direction, so I think we should probably head back in that direction. And the Free Boys said, it said, no, you're cool to come in our territory now.
Okay.
I'm not 100% confident about this plan, but it seems as good as a plan as any.
Okay. So just to be clear, the Free Boys, their territory encompasses these jungle tiles here. This is the area where they roam. And as far as the two factions that were attempting to court these boys, you chased one of them off violently and kind of blew the other one off entirely.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, he said, at worst, we didn't do much to him. Because he said he wasn't even sure that he was going to accept these people.
Right. So they can escort you to the edge of their territory wherever you want to go, pretty safely. So is your plan to backtrack along where you've already been, or strike out and look for mountains in a new direction?
I keep trying to move my cursor over the Twitch window.
Let me check out this map.
I'm not keeping track of what you guys found on each hex, so if that's important, I hope somebody else is keeping track of that.
I don't think we found anything important yet.
Yeah.
So
we found a cave of bugs, but I mean...
I say we try to start heading for this direction.
Okay. So
well, you're the navigator, so...
They can get you to here, and from there you need to make a navigation roll.
Yeah, ready. That was my survival skill, which was...
I'll roll mine right now, just in case you fuck up.
Now 17.
17?
Yep.
Alright, let me make sure that that's going to be good. Yep. So you're trying to move back into the mountains?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me make some rolls on my end here. Alright. Climbing up into these mountains, leaving the Free Boys behind as they go back off into the jungle, whooping and hollering. You step out of the marshlands into a more temperate forest, and from there, start heading up into the foothills. Mahogany, are you scouting?
Yep.
Where to? Which edge?
Alright. I'm going to say that. Oh, what? Wait, do we only have one edge available?
On this, well, you can scout one of these edges you already know if you really want to.
Yeah, I'll just the one that's available.
Okay.
Or mountain.
Mahogany. As you're circling back to rejoin the group from scouting, you hear in the sky an incredibly loud shriek. Sounds like a bird call. It echoes off all of the mountains in the area. And looking in the direction, you don't see anything in the sky, but this call definitely came from some miles away.
All right. How far away is the party from me at the moment?
Pretty close.
All right, I'm gonna go get them and try to guide us there then.
Yeah, you have. I'm assuming you haven't been leaving more than maybe a mile or two from the group at any particular time.
Mm-hmm. It's worthwhile to get them first, rather
Okay.
than try to investigate it myself.
So you find them as they're marching their way through the foothills, going to the south, into an area where the trees start to become a little more densely packed. And what do you report?
I don't report anything because I'm still in wolf form. I just get their attention and then drag them off in the direction that I heard the sound come from.
Okay.
Okay.
Who has the highest passive perception in this group?
Probably not me.
It might be Riot.
Yeah. My passive perception is 14.
Oh, mine's also 14.
Wait, are you asking not me?
I'm asking everybody, the whole group.
Oh, then mine is 20 or 15 if it's not hearing or sight
It's
or
sight-based.
smell based.
Yeah.
Then it's 15.
So 15. Okay. As Mahogany leads you out into the less forested area where he was scouting along the edge of this mountain ridge, it begins raining, and it starts coming down, not in torrents, but to the point where you would normally want to seek shelter. And Mahogany, up beyond the clouds, you see a shape that looks like flapping wings coming in your direction.
Okay. What was that?
That's just a shape
Hello?
that looks like flapping wings coming in your direction.
All right, I'm going to stop everyone and point towards the shape.
And those of you with 14s, you can just barely make it out. You just see the shadow of it through these storm clouds.
Is it heading towards us?
It's moving in your direction, yes. The others can't really make out how it's moving, but you have your keen wolf eyes. And you can
Brady
make it
Dart, activate psychic focus.
out. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say Kelian draws out his crossbow.
And it's really odd, especially to you, Mahogany, having been on the Beastlands before and having a lot more experience with watching the skies and watching bird patterns and whatnot, that you can't make out the speed or the actual trajectory of this thing, because if this was a bird, it would be almost right above you. You'd be able to pick it out of the air with an arrow at this point. So either it would have to be much, much further away, but that would be impossible because a bird that was any further away, you wouldn't be able to see it all. So it strikes you as very, very odd.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to shape back and inform this.
Okay.
And say, well, what do you guys think we should do? Should we get its attention?
And Riot shakes her head. It's like I don't want to get anything's attention. They can't tell us how to get to the River Oceanus.
Well, it can fly. You could probably see more than we can.
You're assuming it's intelligent. You're saying it won't attack us.
Everybody make a
If
dexterity
it's not intelligent,
save.
I can still talk to it.
Okay.
Dexterity save, DC 10.
Is this against something I can see?
No, it is not.
Barely saved, but saved nonetheless.
Never what I get.
Save.
Yours is a 14 on die, Nick.
All right.
So
sounds
yes.
Mine
Nick, if you
is-
have actual dice, if you just want to roll dice on your desk, I'm fine with that too. I trust you.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't
Mine was
trust
a
any of
15
these
on
other
that.
animals, but I trust you.
Let me go grab my bag.
Get your backup dice. Never forget your backup dice.
I don't know, man. My first roll for him, I got a 14. He should just stick with me.
Yeah, for those of you following along at home, for some reason, this map with 1,300 little tiny hexes on it crashed Nick's computer, so he's watching the stream along with you all. So we're going to have him roll an actual die. And once he gets back, I'm going to tell you guys what that deck... There they are. I heard them.
I heard some rustling.
All right. Watching the shape, as you guys are conversing about what to do about it, you see it dip down below the horizon. And a few moments later, you hear a great thundering sound coming from the tree line off to your north. And within a few seconds, an entire herd of animals, forest creatures, small ones, larger ones, the largest of ones being deer with great antlers off the front of their heads, come stampeding out of the woods, barreling through the party. Did anybody not make that deck save?
I think everybody did.
Everybody did? Okay.
Yeah.
You all managed to dive for cover before the stampede reaches your location. And then over the course of the next few seconds, the thunder dies away and you all hear the shriek again from off in the distance. And looking back, you see the shape rising up back above the tree line. And at this point, Mahogany, you're seeing now why it was so odd, because this bird is much larger than any bird you've ever seen with your eyes before. And it seems to be following this herd of creatures right in your direction.
I'm gonna suggest we hide.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace on the group.
Okay, and where do you look to hide? What sort of place are you looking to hide in? You're on a forested mountain hex, so I mean, you could look for someplace in the rocks. You can head for the tree line. You've got options.
Tree line.
Probably
Well,
duck into the tree line.
Tree line it is.
Not the tree line the thing is coming from, obviously.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That would be bad.
You make your way kind of perpendicular to your location, back in the direction that Mahogany led you from originally, and duck into where the trees get slightly more dense. And hiding there, waiting for what?
I guess waiting for the shape to pass over.
Okay. So are you trying to situate yourself in a place where you can see the shape clearly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you watch, this process repeats itself a few times. You see a herd of animals fly out from the tree line towards the mountains. And then you hear the great rumbling sound, and then followed by the shriek. The third time it happens, you're watching what looks like a group of mountain goats. You count a few dozen of them stampeding along the tree line. Some of them dart into the woods, some of them are continuing along towards where you know the mountain ridge to be. And this time you just see the talon come down on the ground, grabbing up 3 of these goats in one talon, tearing up the ground, kicking up grass and dirt and rock, and then disappearing back up in the sky. And the shriek this time is deafening.
Yeah, I'm thinking we need to avoid that.
Should we go a different direction?
Yeah, maybe we could
Maybe
turn
if we edge
south.
through these plains over here to our northwest, we can avoid that mountain right there that it came from.
Sounds good.
So you're going to double back towards the jungle through the denser trees over towards these hills?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we head over here, then I can scout over here and check to see what the hell is going on over there.
Are you attempting to do this without being noticed by the bird?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some stealth checks.
How long does Pass Without Trace last?
Take an hour.
An hour won't be long enough to reach those hills unless you're going to move at a fast pace. Unless you're going to move at a grueling pace.
This seems like a good time.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay.
And assuming that we're going to take a rest after that anyway,
Yeah.
I'm going to shift back into wolf form.
Okay.
And then that's what, plus 10 to stealth?
I'm double checking.
I think it's...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Plus 10 to stealth checks, and let me just double check that it works right on Beastlands. I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, it does. You're fine.
23. And I'm assuming 23 and up.
What was
Alright,
the lowest stealth check there?
I have a
21
9.
here.
28.
Lowest I
Why
was
we at-
19 from you?
Doffender got a 16.
Why are we at 10?
Wait, are you saying you got 9
Because-
after 10?
Because he
The 19.
has passed that trace.
19.
Okay. Making your way back to the north, you come to an area where you have to dart across this clearing to get to the other side. And in doing so, looking back the direction you came, you see the shape still off in the distance. You seem to have snuck by it, no worse for wear. And so by the time you guys reach the jungle line again, and the trees thin out, and you get to this hilly territory, where the free boys told you that sometimes they go out and find hares amongst the grasses. But you were all exhausted, suffer one level of exhaustion.
Probably take a break here, then.
Yeah, I think because normally we take an 8-hour rest. Let's just take the 12
Yeah.
Okay, gonna do that.
and get our
rest.
exhaustion back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that way you'll get past without trace back too, just in case we need to.
Okay.
Use it.
And your rest passes uneventfully. And you wake up feeling much more refreshed and no sign of the giant bird in the air.
Alright. Alright, so, did you want to scout ahead first? No?
I'm worried that if I scout first, we'll lose you. How would that work mechanically, Rick?
Mechanically,
Like if I go scouting,
you would roll an individual navigation check to see if you can find the next tile, and then that would be the end of it. Then you would have to go back. If he's not navigating for the group and you're not scouting,
Alright.
then you're just
Alright,
I'm just
then.
going to count it as you traveling on your own without the group.
Alright, then
Okay.
we'll stick together then.
So the
Which is never
risk
a
of
good
that,
idea.
the risk of that would be running into random encounters and things by yourself with no backup.
Alright.
I'm gonna
Hey,
stick
with
with
the-
the normal.
With the intention of going southeast, my my roll is a 8.
Okay. Is it 8?
Yeah.
I'll keep a die prepared just in case, so that I have one available whenever you ask me. All right, I'll just stick that on my name.
All right. Roll a d6.
6.
6. Walking southeast for most of the day. Are we back on your normal pace now, obviously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Southeast for most of the day, you come up again, you see you're coming up on that same mountain ridge. Whereas yesterday you approached this mountain ridge from a different direction. So at some point you got turned around navigating these hills, and you're not where you thought you were.
Okay, nope, never mind. That was a bust. Let's just stop and try again.
Okay, so you're stopping and trying to get your bearings?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have another navigation check.
Yeah, that's 21.
Okay. And did you want to scout this last tile here, Mahogany?
And that's 23.
There you go. So you've entered some much lower hills than the mountain ridge you were initially seeking to enter. So kind of large hills, very few trees, but with large expanses of field between them, and then the odd brook or pond that you come across. And we don't need to make forage checks because Serenity does that automatically.
Yep.
As I recall. Okay.
Unless everything's really fucked.
Unless everything's really fucked.
I don't think we used that language, but I think that's what we landed on.
And that's your movement for the day because he botched his first navigation check. So moving beyond this will create exhaustion if you want to keep going. Yes? No?
No.
I think we're good.
Okay.
It seems fine to me.
Who's keeping watch during the rest?
I'll take first, as usual.
Okay.
I'll take second.
I'll take third.
Serenity. During your watch, you've noticed it a couple times while the others were resting, but a large pair of badgers is snipping around where you've made camp, keeping their distance, not closing in, but you see them disappear into a burrow and then come back out several times. It looks like they're keeping very close eye on what you're doing.
Large number of badgers?
Just two. Just a pair of them.
Oh.
They said large pair, and I was like, oh, so like a pair of large badgers?
Well, no, yeah, they're large badgers. They're much, much larger than your... Well, not... I guess Serenity might know what a badger is, being on the Outlands a lot. But no, they're definitely giant badgers.
Okay. And they're not actually approaching the camp, they're just watching it?
No, they're watching intently, but they do not seem to fear you.
Okay, no, it's fine.
Live and let live, I say.
So at the end of the rest, when the rest of you wake up, do you travel to intercept them, or do you try to go around their burrow?
I'd say go around the burrow.
Yeah, I'm
Unless
kind of
unless you guys want badger for lunch.
No, I'm feeling
I
pretty...
could go talk with them and see what they've seen.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Okay, do you approach as a half-elf, or do you approach... Or not a half-elf, a Genasi, or do you approach as a wolf?
Have I ever seen a badger?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll approach as a badger.
Okay.
And I'll keep speak with animals up as... Oh, it's not concentration. Okay. I'll just cast it and then go speak with them.
Okay, so are you going to transform while they're watching, or are you going to wait for them to be in their burrow when that happens?
I think I'm going to transform while they're watching.
Okay. And are you approaching alone, or is anybody going with you?
I'm assuming I'm alone, but they're probably not super far behind.
No,
Yeah,
it's only...
we're going to keep...
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, at least keep you and I shot as much as best we can.
they're a few dozen yards away from where you made camp at the base of this hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you approach...
And the way I've been running Speak with Animals, by the way, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, I don't have the ability to talk with them unless I cast Speak with Animals, even if I am myself a badger, right?
That's correct.
Becoming a badger doesn't mean I understand badger.
That
okay,
is correct.
Good. Yeah. Take my spellcast.
Unfortunately, Speak with Animals does not work on the Beastlands. It is a divination spell.
Oh, huh.
So the spell will not function. I'll let you retain the spell point because I'm assuming Mahogany would know that ahead of time, having come here and tried a bunch of his spells before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember at least last week saying that he was like, no, I'm going to go to the Beastlands before we all go and experiment.
Mm-hmm. In that case, I don't think there's anything useful that I can get from these badgers.
So we're going... What do you do after you transform then?
I don't know. I'm sitting here thinking for a moment.
Okay.
Because
you can't not transform because you're safe.
yeah. I'm just give me one moment.
Sure. I have good news. The rain stops.
Oh, good.
Great.
It's no longer a rating.
In that case, I'm thinking this is all pointless. Unless these badgers, for some reason, understand common. Which, I mean, I know giant eagles understand common, so I might as well try it.
Yeah, might as well try.
And I'll just try talking in common.
Okay.
I'll just,
So you transform into a badger, and then remember that your spell's not going to work. And then transform back into a Genasi. And you continue to approach them alone?
yeah.
Okay. As you approach, one of them darts back in the burrow, and the other one stands its ground. And you get near enough to it to speak to it.
And I'm going to say, do you understand me? We're just passing through. We're not invading your territory. And we're wondering if the river Oceanus is nearby.
And you see the badger is craning its head over, looking at the group. And you notice it's watching Kelian's cat. But no, phone. I gotta take this call. It's my friggin' wife. Sorry, guys. 10 seconds.
So,
That's a good point. Maybe we should get your cat to act as interpreter for us.
and how do we do that?
Oh.
My name's Peanut. I'm going to interrupt my husband's D&D game to ask him a question I could have looked up online. I'm getting a divorce. Where were we?
The cat.
The cat.
The cat.
The badger is watching the cat. But when you say, do you understand me, its head snaps back in your direction. But it makes no motion beyond that. And you ask it about the river Oceanus, and it reaches forward with its claws and makes marks in the dirt.
Okay, great.
What is Mrs. Fluffy Bottom doing?
Hiding behind your legs because there's a giant
she's-
badger watching her.
Okay, she's hiding. Okay. All you said was that the badger was staring at her.
Yeah.
And I didn't know.
No, she's noticed that the badger is staring at her, and she's making sure to keep your strong Aasimar legs between her and it.
Got it.
Cats are not tame.
So the badger scratches some marks in the dirt, but you can't make sense of what they are. They just look like random scratches to you.
Can I try to interpret it? Like, it's just like there's nothing I can do. Like, it just doesn't.
It just looks
It
like
doesn't make any
scratches in
sense.
the dirt. You're not sure how to interpret.
And,
You're not sure how to interpret that.
And I say, I'm not sure I understand. Is this a map? Where are we on this?
And with that, well, actually, I better roll here. With that, it puts one of its feet over the scratches that it made and stamps on it for a few times. And then it picks its other paw up off the ground and starts making marks in the dirt towards the direction of your group. And again, looking back at the cat very, very intently.
Do you want them to bring the cat away? Is that the problem?
When you ask if you want them to bring the cat away, again, it starts scratching in the dirt with its right forepaw. And then it opens its mouth, bares its fangs for a few moments, makes a chomping motion, and looks back at the cat.
Kelian will pick up the cat and sort of turn away.
Make a dex check.
Alright.
There it goes.
Off the table.
Nope.
She
No
resists-
such thing.
She resists all of your attempts to pick her up, and your forearms are covered in scratches.
Kelian
And,
looks back at the badger
I'm
and
just
just
gonna
shrugs.
say, guys, get out of here. Kelian, the cat's gonna follow you.
I guess I'll turn and walk away.
Yeah,
Walk where?
sure.
Away from the badgers.
So are you trying to just put distance between you, or are you trying to break their line of sight?
Just put distance.
Okay, so you all move away from the badgers. Mahogany, you turn back to the burrow, and you see the badgers watching them go, and licking its lips, licking its chops a little bit.
And I'm going to say maybe I could help you hunt something a little better than that cat.
And again, it reaches down and makes some scratches in the dirt, and then very hurriedly turns away and dives into its burrow.
All right. If I'm just having this much difficulty understanding it, I don't know that I'm going to get anything from this badger. So maybe I'll just in case this happens to make sense to me in the future, I'll just copy down what the badger is drawn on the dirt.
Make an intelligence check. The DC is going to be 20 because these scratches just, when you're looking at them, just look like a random hodgepodge of marks.
Get smart.
I had to roll a 20, so that didn't do it.
You mark down as best you can, but you're not sure, just with the ink and quill that you have, if you're able to recreate the exact pattern and get the weight and the depths of the scratches. But yeah, you have a page filled with scratch marks now.
All right, and I'm just going to leave a message, just because in Druidic, just because the badger seems relatively intelligent, that just thanking him.
Okay.
And head back to the group.
All right, so I guess we continue. It's south, maybe.
That was Serenity's decision as group leader. She's pointing out the direction, and Ciclon is navigating. Is Serenity on mute? There he is.
No, it was just the screen focus was not coming over. Yeah, I think we're going to continue south at this point.
All right.
Uh, 23.
23. And are you going to scout Mahogany? Which tile?
Yeah. Okay, so which one were you going to?
We're going south.
Yeah, they're heading south. This one?
And that is a... Oh, okay.
Now, coming up, you climbed up into a pretty large, hilly area where the path takes you, and you're looking down over this rocky desert. Off to your right, in the distance, you can see the foothills of the mountains that you chose not to enter earlier. The problem is the hill you're standing on, separating it from... Excuse me a second here. Climbing up into this kind of a large rocky plateau, you find a small lake. The stream of which runs south in the direction that you're following, and tumbles down a waterfall. A very sheer drop down in the direction you're heading. And from this, standing at the top of this cliff up here, looking out over it, you see the expansive rocky desert beneath you, with the stream kind of winding off to the west towards the mountains. So to continue moving south down into the desert there would require you to climb down the sheer face of this cliff that this stream is tumbling over.
If you guys are willing to take a short rest afterwards, I can help us down. I can just create like a sort of like rope ladder down basically out of my webbing. Just kind of ferry you guys down.
Yeah, just to be clear, the option is if you want to continue south, you've got to worry about going down this cliff. Otherwise, you can divert your path to the east or the west. The drop looks like it's about 50 feet to the rocky floor below.
I think Nodal's idea of ferrying us down via spider is fairly workable.
Okay. So Mahogany turns into a giant spider, and what happens next?
All right, how strong is my webbing? Like, do I think that if I could let it down slowly, I could just lower them down with it?
It would require, depending on how much weight you're lowering with each load, it will require a strength check on your part. Probably 2 strength checks to get them all the way to the bottom.
In that case, I'm just going to go into one of the packs and pull out some rope.
Okay.
And I'm going to make tying motions on my back, because I can just carry them down.
So you're going to have everybody get tied to your giant spider back?
Mm-hmm.
What is the giant spider's strength score?
All right.
Because remember, you've got to carry all of these people and all their gear.
Well, I can do it partially at a time, because it takes me no time at all to go up and down. Because I just have a climbing score.
It's going to take you 1 trip per person you're carrying. So it's going to...
Okay. My strength score is 14.
Yeah, I just looked that up.
Okay.
Bobrick hates the idea of being lashed to the back of this giant spider, and is going to take some persuading. He's confident that he can climb down on his own.
Based on what? Why is he like? Why not? This is a sure thing. We should just do the sure thing.
He says, "Look at me. I'm a perfect physical specimen." And he kind of pats Kelian on the chest with the back of his hand and says, "So are you, for that matter."
But this is the sure safe thing.
Is that how you fated get to where you are? Always taking the sure safe thing?
And it also like being alive.
Because I'm disappointed, Kelian. I wasn't aware that you doubted yourself and your own abilities. But to each his own. I'm not here to preach at you. Does anybody else try to talk him out of it?
No, I mean that's what he wants to do.
I'm just going to climb down underneath him while he's going, like just so that if he falls, I can break his fall a little.
Okay. All right. So Mahogany, well, just what order are you taking these guys down in? Keeping in mind you also have to carry Xanthes and Dolphinder at some point.
I wait for everyone else to decide.
I guess I'll go down first, secure the area.
I'll just as soon as he says that, I'll go stand next to him and get ready to be lashed up. And then as soon as he's firmly tied, I'll just climb down and drop him off, climb back up.
Okay. Bobbert climbs down very slowly. He obviously had underestimated how slippery the handhelds would be, but is too proud to say anything after the fact. So by the time Mahogany carries 3 people down to the base, that's just when Bobrick is reaching the bottom. Totally winded, totally exhausted.
Tap Bobrick in the chest, same way he did Kelian, grin and say, wait, no, I was gonna say a thing, and then my brain just freaking just vanished. Like the thought in my head, the snide crack that I was thinking just vanished in my head. I'll just settle for a yaw right there.
And he grunts in response. And so there's 2 people left up top. Who are the last 2 people that you carried down, Mahogany? I'm going to leave the decision in your hands, because...
In that case, probably Dolphinder and Serenity.
Okay. Those of you who came down earlier, there's an entire herd of camels lining up at this stream taking drink. And They've noticed you, but they don't dart away. They don't seem... You don't see any fear there. But at least 2 dozen.
What a stupid-looking animal.
Kelian mutters under his breath something about swinging
Ryan.
over open chasms and webbing and being safe.
Hey, Riot, come on now. I'm pretty sure to them, we look stupid.
I mean, Riot has a ladybug back, so... Mahogany, getting everybody down, you suffer 1 level of exhaustion, having carried all of this weight up and down this rock face 7 times in a row.
Alright.
So you and Bobrick are winded. But you're still able to continue 1 more tile for today if you want. Was there a sentence coming, or was that it? Just
Um,
I'm thinking.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll just leave it at
Leave it at dumb. Okay, Serenity. So
Kelian got a snipe and it's fine.
where we're moving to next?
So there's camels down there?
Yeah, there's a whole herd of them taking their drink at this stream. At least 2 dozen. Is Destil muted again?
Sorry, what was that?
Where we're headed to next?
Oh,
What are the stats on a camel?
So-
Yeah.
We'll continue going south, I think.
Okay.
Can we... Is there any way we can ride the camels?
I'm gonna say that seems like a really poor choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing is tame on the baselands.
yeah, nothing can be tamed on the Beastlands.
Well,
I mean, we could get on its back and wait for it to take us wherever it felt like. But
I don't think it'd be
or
very
we could
happy.
negotiate with it.
And I'm gonna say how I can't even talk to animals here.
Yeah.
That's how wild they are.
So that was the entire thought process that went through my head just now.
Okay.
So
No,
when you
I
asked
like
if
the stream
I
of
said,
consciousness PC.
and then-
comment.
I said nothing.
Yeah.
So just looking at how can we turn these camels to our benefit and seeing no solution there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Elsie Clone, let's get a navigation check.
Alrighty. Navigation. Sales.
Can I forego my scouting to recover my exhaustion?
No, you need to take a rest, long rest to recover it.
All right, then I'm
I
gonna
think
scout.
we're about to do that. Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I'll just scout while you're, as usual. 15.
17 or yeah, 17.
Okay.
Could you ding which one spot you wanted?
Well, they're heading south, and remember you made that scouting check at disadvantage, right?
No, I didn't.
Because you
I'll
are
take it
exhausted.
Yes. 8.
Okay, so you're not able to scout effectively, but they managed to find their way through the desert.
More desert.
And as you do, the wind picks up tremendously, forcing you as you move to make sure that your mouths are covered, lest they get filled with sand. Very hot as well, very unpleasant journey through this desert. And there's always an and. Not always an and, but there was right now. Continuing to move south, you move into, well, I'll put it to you. You come to a spot where it looks like 2 large rocky cliffs, 2 plateaus, and your kind of options are to walk up along one of the ridges or to walk down in between them.
How is Mrs. Fluffybottom handling the desert?
Not well at all. She
Okay.
gives
Does
she gives
she
every
need-
indication that she cannot stand this plane.
Sure, but I mean, like, does she need cover from something? Do I need to give her cover somehow? Because I would offer it if she didn't scratch me to death.
Every time you make a motion to aid her, she's going to try to scratch you to death.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do with that information, I'll leave it up to you.
Alright.
You came along. You decided, no, I'm going to follow Kelian because that's the smartest idea ever.
So, Serenity, are you leading the group up onto one of these ridges, or are you leading them down through the canyon?
Through the canyon.
Going down through the canyon, what is Serenity's passive perception?
11, I think. Let me look.
11.
13.
Then you don't notice anything until an arrow protrudes the ground right at your feet, bringing you to a stop. That looks like it was fired from up on one of the ridges. And now that you're stopped, you're hearing the sound of commotion far up ahead of you in the canyon. It's around a pass, so you don't have line of sight. You have to walk forward and turn a corner around one of the snaking parts of this canyon. But looking
Do
up
we
at the
all see the
ridges...
arrow?
No, I mean,
Look
you all see
up?
the arrow, yes. But Serenity's passive perception was not good enough to spot the shooter.
Look up.
And you just see the ridges along either side of the canyon.
Perception for that?
No, there's no perception roll. There's nothing to see.
Am I with the group at this point?
Yes.
Kelian pulls out his crossbow and runs to one of the ridges.
Do I
To
smell
try
anything
and-
nearby?
Runs to one of the walls.
Yeah, to try and get cover
Okay. And
as best he can.
what was Mahogany
Clearly
say?
somebody...
Do I smell anything nearby that could have fired the arrow?
No, not nearby. You smell very hot and a lot of wind, but
All right.
you can clearly hear some kind of commotion up around the corner of this canyon.
What direction did the arrow stick into the ground?
Yes.
What direction did it fire from? If I follow back the length of the arrow,
Difficult to say. It's just kind of sticking straight up out of the ground. If anything, it's angled away from the group, further into the canyon.
all right.
Serenity, what happens next?
Well, I mean, I think we should continue through the canyon.
Let me take point.
Okay.
No, let me take the point.
He's the best at catching arrows.
Let me take point for this.
Sure.
And
How quickly are you moving forward?
Kelian will be sprinting.
Be sprinting?
The-
Okay.
Yeah, because we're in a disadvantageous position here.
So, Elsie Clone, how quickly are you moving forward?
5 feet faster than the party's fastest pace, because I can do that.
Well, Kelian's going to be sprinting, which I'm taking to mean he's going to be dashing. So unless you're
Yeah.
dashing, Kelian's going to outpace you immediately.
Kelian, keep back.
I'm actually going to outpace both of them.
Okay.
Because I'm currently a
okay.
dire wolf,
Okay, wow. All right, you guys suck.
Yeah.
and I'm going to head
Those are
out
the
in front
worst.
because I don't see any reason to wait for Elsie Clone
Mahogany,
because I have the best perception.
turning the corner, you see a melee between what looks to be a gigantic snake with these long protruding fangs, orange and black scales, and this massive hood. And it seems like this snake is accosting a group of men in the canyon. This is where the sounds of whooping and hollering and whatnot have come from. It seems like the men are holding their own. There's 4 of them. One is laying on the ground, twitching with giant fang marks in his neck.
Ooh.
The other 3 are going at this snake with swords and shields.
All right, one quick question.
Yeah.
The snake, is it towards us and then they're away from us? I'm asking if they were trying to shoot at the snake, missed, and landed the arrow near us.
Absolutely not. The arrow was definitely meant for you guys.
Oh.
And
Right,
then
in that case,
2
I'm going
seconds
to-
later, Kelian sees that as well as he rounds the corner.
Okay.
And since I could easily outpace Kelian, I would have seen that as well.
And
Right,
then
in that case, I'm going to back away from the fight and wait for my party. I don't see any reason to run to the assist of these people when there's random arrows being shot off towards us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Kelian, as soon as you round the corner, what form is Mahogany in right now?
I'm a dire wolf.
Direwolf. As soon as you're around the corner, you see Mahogany stop and begin to inch backwards, and that's when the rest of you catch up with them. And so this scene is laid bare for all of you to watch.
I see the guy laying down on the ground and say, we gotta help him.
I don't think we do. I think we should get away from here. I think we should let that pan out to how that pans out, and we get the hell out of here.
Was it a bolt or an arrow that landed in the middle of us?
It was an arrow.
Did any of them
I'm gonna
have
take the
bows?
Yeah, that's okay. Nice.
No, you don't see any bows in this melee. They're fighting with swords and shields against this.
Serenity charges in with her maul out.
Roll initiative.
God damn it, Serenity.
Well, this works too, I suppose.
No, that's fine with me too. Because I'm just gonna say I'm using this couple seconds of watching to figure out if any of them have arrows that are like that. So I'm perfectly okay with Serenity's actions.
All right, how's Riot acting?
15.
15. And Kelian.
19.
El Ciclon.
I'm on an 8.
And Serenity.
Serenity acts at 5.
It keeps happening. It just keeps happening.
It just keeps happening.
And Mahogany.
9.
Serenity initiates combat and is the last person to go.
So yeah, Serenity grabs her maul and starts muscling her way through the group towards the battle. But Kelian, you act first.
Kelian is going to hold his action.
Okay, what's the trigger and what's the action?
He will fire his crossbow at the first hostile action directed towards a party member. Like, if the snake turns its head to the party and attacks, or if any of those dudes turn to the party and attacks, he will fire.
So whichever combatant attacks one of your group first.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I've got more NPCs I forgot about.
More than the snake dude and the ridge dudes?
Oh, I mean,
NPC
you're traveling
dudes?
with 3 NPCs.
Yeah.
The snake whips around, lashing out at one of these things with its mighty, muscular tail. And the man tries to parry a blow with his shield. But you see he's knocked to the ground and tumbles over backwards on his butt. The snake immediately strikes out with his fangs, but this time the man gets his sword up, intercepts the teeth, wrestles for a moment, and strikes the snake back. Riot.
Let's see. Riot's going to cast Mirror Image on herself.
Okay, let me double check that works on this plane. That's illusion, right?
Yep.
Pretty sure you're fine with illusion, but I always want to double check.
Yeah, understood.
In addition to the schools, like what schools do and don't work, there's a lot of just miscellaneous spells that do and don't work sometimes. But no.
Well, like Druidcraft has the ability to tell what is going to happen, like what weather is for the next day.
Right,
but it's not divination.
It's a divination without being a divination, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, your mirror image goes off, it works fine.
Alright.
Moving or staying put? Right now you are, we'll say about 50 feet away from where the combat is.
I'll get close to the combat then.
So you're going to move your 30 feet forward?
Yeah,
okay.
30 feet forward.
And what weapons do you have out, if any?
My rapier.
Okay. Riot. Another arrow sprouts in the ground in front of you. This time, looking up, you see the man who fired it standing on the ridge. And he yells down, he calls back, says, "You and yours, back off!" Mahogany.
Can I speak back to him?
Yeah.
Say, I just want to get that one out of the way, and I point to the down man, the poison dude.
So your intention is to get in there and drag him out?
Yeah.
Okay, Mahogany, what's up?
I'm going to try to find a way to grab myself on top of this ridge. I want to get up there and figure out what the fuck.
Sorry. Would that have triggered Kelian's spell?
I'm going to say no because Kelian didn't know that guy was up there.
Okay.
Plus,
Kelian wouldn't have been able to see him fire.
It was very deliberately a warning shot, right?
That would be your best guess.
Yeah, because that's how I
the second
interpret
time
it
they
as.
fired and got right in front of your feet without hitting you.
Yeah.
So, Mahogany, your question was, can you climb up this ridge?
Yeah, can I find a way up this ridge?
I'll allow it with a DC 15 strength check.
Got it.
Straight strength, not athletics.
How does that interact with?
Just whatever your direwolf strength is. Just roll a
No, I
strength check
know.
with that.
I'm looking up the rules for exhaustion, whether or not that applies to just strength checks or all.
Oh, yeah,
checks.
no, that's a disadvantage. It's an ability check.
Okay.
Yeah, skill and ability checks are made at disadvantage when you're
Got it.
exhausted.
What did you say it was? DC?
15.
I got a 12.
A 12. 1 point bludgeoning damage. As you climb halfway up this ridge, but as reaching for the next handheld, you're kind of clawing your way from foothold to foothold, and reaching for the next one, your muscle just throbbing. You miss it by an inch and tumble to the ground on your back.
Can I at least get up as my movement?
Yeah, you're not prone. You just fell down and took damage.
Okay.
Ciclon.
I'm going to go running in at full tilt toward the guy that is down on the ground.
Okay.
Slide like a baseball player down next to him and pressure point him for spare the dying.
Okay. Make a whiz 10 real quick.
Nope. Wait, no. Yes. Never
6.
mind.
Okay.
Yes.
That'll work. That maneuver will work, but watching this snake fight for just the few seconds you've seen it, doing that will put you in and out of its strike range. If it wants to bite you, it can.
That's fine.
That's fine. Okay, so you dive in and get down and spare the dying on this guy to stabilize him. That just stabilize him, doesn't actually give him any hit points, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Okay. And as you get there, you notice a couple things, actually. First of all, getting that close to the fight, you notice the holes in his neck have black tissue surrounding the wounds, and this
I knew that
oozing
was gonna
pus and
happen.
blood coming off the side. And the man's breathing very haggardly and very labored. You spare the dying and stabilize him, and his breathing smooths out, and the wound stops oozing pus.
That's good. He's about to get a healing word next turn. If I'm alive, that is.
So you're going to grab him and retreat?
I mean, I was taking double movement to get
You
get
dash
over
stick
there.
it in there. Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, dudes. As you're doing this, Ciclon, the three ones that are fighting. The other thing you notice when you close that distance is that the snake is wounded. Pretty terrible. You see huge hunks of its flesh and scales have been sheared off by the men's swords. It seems to have quite a lot of fight left in it, but watching, it'll be a losing battle for this snake. And as you're tending to the man, you meet the gaze for a split second of the other combatants, and one of them shouts out, "What do we do with this one?" The other one says, "Put a sword in him." And one of them attempts to do just that. And he
Trying
rolled
to
a 2.
help. I'm trying to help.
He whips around with his short sword and throws 2 quick stabs at you, but both miss.
Does that fire off my reaction?
Sure.
Cool. Yeah, I roll at disadvantage, don't I?
Why would you roll a disadvantage?
Why disadvantage?
You don't. You roll at advantage because he's 5 feet
At
from...
advantage. Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said disadvantage.
Does that give you advantage?
Yeah, because he's within 5 feet of party member.
Yeah. I
Oh, no,
don't-
he doesn't roll at advantage. He can just apply his sneak attack to it as though he had advantage. So I'll let you take that 16.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't actually get advantage on the roll, but you can apply your sneak attack to it.
Yeah, because
Oh,
we were
okay.
using it that way because remember Zook always had at the end Zook always had foresight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
That's
yeah.
right. So I'll let you keep that 16 because that was my fuck up.
Alright. 22.
Yeah, that hits. Do you want to just arrow this guy and
I do.
Just roll a bunch of dice.
I do. Whoops. Not that one. This one. So 3 plus 4, 7 plus 15 damage.
15 damage. And you see the man turn around and throw a couple of stabs at Ciclon. Ciclon deftly rolls out of the way of both, and a second later you put an arrow through his chest, and he falls over backwards. The other guys remain in combat with this snake. It looks like one of them is trying to lure the snake, strikes around, while the other one hacks away at its back and its tail. And Serenity.
Serenity will move into melee next to Ciclon and take a swing at this snake.
Okay, you started out about 50 feet away, so you need to dash to get up in melee.
Oh, okay. Well, then she'll just move her speed and take a defensive action.
Okay, so you're going to move forward and then dodge?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody remember what weapon we gave Bobrick?
I don't think we ever did.
I'm sure he had
Sarcasm?
Sarcasm, was that it?
It might have been a ball or a flail or some kind of type.
Yeah, it was like a maul flail. I'm going to give him a longsword, just because I happen to know that. Bobrick moves forward with Serenity to enter the combat. Dolphinder grabs Xanthys by the arm and ducks back around the curve in the wall. Takes Xanthys back behind cover.